Hello everyone, it's Andrew from Andrew's Orchids, and I just want to do a little update or walkthrough of some things that I've been noticing. All the Lalias are pushing roots and growths, coming along good. The Cattleya on the back there's lasting pretty long. Sorry for the fan noise. Roots are growing on it. It's actually got 3 new leads on the 2 in the pot. Happy with that. The Ivanagara apple blossom, that is sulking a little bit. Its pseudobulbs are starting to shrivel, so I think that's getting a little bit too much heat. I might move that either into the house or down where the oncidiums are at. Little path in the back there is pushing up its flower spike pretty good. New growths are coming along. The path barbatum still in flower, that's good. Lowii is going over, but the growths on the paths are starting to push along, the new growths. This Phragmipedium longifolium black as night is just starting to fade on some of the flowers, which they have lasted on this spike, for about 3 or 4 weeks, which I'm really surprised at. And the other spike is still doing well. This one also has one more bud to come along. Something I just spied too the other day was, let me get in here. I actually have a flower spike growing here on the big one, the Schroederi. So that's going to give me 1 spike in the future here. Also this, what is this one? The Eric Young, that one's pushing its bud out, and it looks like it's gonna branch here, which I'm kind of surprised because let me bring you up here to the, let me shut off this fan real quick. Bring you up here to this Sorcerer's Apprentice, which every time I've seen Sorcerer's Apprentice, I've seen it on Wade's and other channels, it always has multiple blooms and multiple branches on its spike, and this one seems to be like a sequential bloomer, so it's dropping its flowers and then opening a new one. But yet this Eric Young down here seems to be branching, and I don't know what it's gonna do with its blooms, but we'll see when they open. But I just kind of find that interesting. Another thing too, on this Sorcerer's Apprentice, I had found a mealybug here. So, oh no, I never ever had a problem with any mealybugs, and now all of a sudden I got one. But I have been getting a lot of plants in lately, so there must have been some, how do you say, hitchhikers with it. So, we'll see what happens. Also the, what is this one called? Green Hornet. It's doing good still, pushing out its new growth and bud. Let me go down to the lower shelf where there's a lot of activity. Okay, so first we got the Dendrobium. Look, I didn't notice this, I just noticed it now. One of the flowers, sorry, you're out of focus or out of frame. One of the flowers is starting to go over, and I see some kind of like veining on some of them. So they've been open for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's pretty warm in here, so I don't blame them for going over. So that might be on its way out, but I still see buds. If you see down there, there's a bud, and then on this older cane here too, there's a bud. So that's coming along, but it also has new growths too. And then here is my Dendrobium Johannes, but it's now been reclassified as Cephalobacterium Johannes. So anyways, it's got new growths coming. And then it also has some nubbins. If you look at the top of this plant right there, there's a nubbin, which I don't know if it's going to be a kiki or buds. This is my first time getting it to produce anything like that. So it also has some, sorry. It also has some other little nubbins pushing out there, and also on this new growth. So if you can see inside the leaf joint, I know the lighting is horrible, but yeah. Then let's come over here to the Benphals, and they're starting to open. They're kind of greenish right now, but they're also like a creamy white with green, but they will be fading to more of a just pure white. This one is opening over here too, but they have a light fragrance of like honey. Okay, then coming over here, the Wild Willie's Pacific Bingo is opening, and then I also have that crazy Cochleata Oncidium cross opening up too and pushing its other spike. So, and actually I have root growth, so yay, roots. Okay, coming up. Some exciting news is the Neo is actually pushing root tips now, and the little growths at the bottom are actually showing more activity. One thing I didn't show you guys is I actually had another little Neo come in. Sorry, no unboxing. But this is the one down here is a pinkish one, and this one is a purplish one. Oh, let me walk back over here. Sorry for all the movements. Let me find one of these flasks that is more visible. Oh, okay, here we go. Do you see all those little globules in the water moving around in there? Them were seeds, but they're now turning into like little balls. So sorry, I'm looking at it and not looking in the camera. I believe we have germination, but I don't know if I just killed them or not, because they were getting kind of dry, and I put some hydrogen peroxide in there through the filter pour on the top just to rehydrate them, because I didn't want to add any type of water because I could risk contamination. Obviously, hydrogen peroxide would be considered, I guess you would consider it sterile. So I put that through the pour on the top of the bottle to hopefully hydrate it, but let's see if they continue to grow. But I'm happy, at least they started, so that means something was right. And then the Vulcastera or Vuxtequiera has opened up this spike completely, I believe. Yep. Some are upside down, but that's basically how they came. So it also has this one. That's doing good. Then I had this Zygo, I think it's a Zygo Bapta or something like that. It's a Zygo Dragon Kitten Purr. They opened up. But I did notice, I was just messing with them because I was feeling the buds. They were looking like this one. Let me see if I can show you, like this one here. Big and fat. And they weren't doing nothing, and they're just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. So I was touching it, and all of a sudden it kind of like popped out of this sheath here. And I noticed that the little stem here, let me get you in, was all bent and curled. So if you notice, like even this one here, let me get my hand out of the way, it's got a bend right there. So what I actually did was all of these on this spike here, I took off that sheath because all of the little stems were being bent and suffocated, or whatever you want to call it. It must need a little more humidity to allow the bud to move in that sheath. So I removed all the sheaths, and boom, they all opened up. So this one also has a little fragrance. It kind of reminds me more of like a Cattleya than a Zygopetalum, because it's kind of a spicy, citrusy smell, less than a hyacinth type smell like normal Zygos. And then I found the most cutest thing on my Phalaenopsis here. I don't know if you can really see. Let me see if I can get all those little specks there. Yeah, that's spider mites. Yay! Well, I guess one reason why I could be saying is they're all dead. Let me show you what I use on them. This is actually for cattle. It's an ivermectin pesticide, and like I said, it's made from ivermectin, but it's used to kill roundworms and lice and mites and mange on animals. It's an alcohol based, or the ingredient is dissolved in alcohol. So basically I kind of did like how people use rubbing alcohol, dish soap, and water for insecticidal spray, but I just used that instead of the alcohol, and I don't see any movement. So hopefully they are all dead, but I'll be checking up. And it's so funny because I basically check my plants every day, and I had seen, especially the phals I've been checking a lot lately just because of how hot it's been getting, and I wanted to make sure everything was going good in their pots. But every single phal up here had a ton of spider mites, like overnight. And let me show you the culprit. This wisteria. This plant is good for spider mites. That's all I could tell you. Yeah, they just love these thin leaves, and yeah, I can already see that there's still spider mites and webs on this, so that's gonna need some more spray. But I sprayed everything with a systemic spray, but I also sprayed it with the ivermectin, and I'm not letting it gonna get out of hand. Now, one little word of caution for the ivermectin: it's for animal use, it's not really for plants, so I'm really going against the label. But I figured, hey, it's a miticide, so what the heck, let me try it. And I didn't want to take no chances with spider mites, so I have been using it, and I don't see anything negative, I'll say. But I would not recommend it to use it on anything that obviously you're going to be smoking or eating. These are just purely ornamental plants, so that's why I guess I went ahead and used it on them. So that's gonna end my little update or tour, whatever you want to call it. If you like it, please press the like button, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Talk to you later. Bye.